Good morning, guys. Let me know if you get audio. This is going to be a live stream to preview the Ravens Browns Week 7 matchup in Baltimore. Huge game for both teams. Both teams coming in with some injury issues, guys that are going to be missing apparently, according to Friday's injury report. So both teams and both teams' fan bases have complaints clearly, not just about the injuries but about other things too. So this live stream, to be honest with you, is kind of rigidly structured. To be honest with you. For a couple of reasons. I want to see how far I can push the pace in terms of content and topics I can get to in about an hour and 15 minutes. It'll be a little more structured than previous live streams, I believe, in terms of the pace that I'm going to try to go at to get to different topics. So I'm going to real quick preview. Stu, what's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, agreed, Stu. Great point. So the topics that I'm going to get to is 5, maybe 6, and whatever I don't get to, I'll just produce as a standalone video. So the first topic I'm going to talk about is the Browns' run game. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt both play a huge role in that, but Nick Chubb is obviously the hammer there. And how the Browns use a heavy offensive line set. We call it jumbo, meaning 6 O-linemen on the field. So they have this number 68 who comes in and reports as eligible. So basically he's lined up as a tight end. And how they run the ball, despite having limited personnel on the field, how they try to take advantage of the defense is really cool. It clearly goes against the grain in terms of the NFL where offense is in 2022. So related to that first point, the second point will be the Ravens' run defense. And I'll show a lot of clips from the Ravens' run defense against Barkley and the Giants from last year. You can tell I'm old because my brain, I almost said Iran Barkley. If you know, you know. Second topic that I'll get to will be Amari Cooper, because he is on the field when they have that jumbo package on the field. It's either jumbo 12 or jumbo 13. So it'll be like 2 receivers, 1 tight end, and then that extra lineman. Or 1 receiver, 2 tight ends, and then that extra lineman. And one of those tight ends, number 88, they kind of use as a fullback, move him in the backfield, move him around. So it's really cool what they do, even though, it's not the style of play that most NFL teams are showing right now. Part and parcel to that, I'll show the Ravens' third down coverage breakdowns against the Giants, and they were quite bad. Daniel Jones, Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton, other guys were able to make plays on third down against the Ravens pass coverage that was just disappointing, for real. I mean, there can be no two ways about it. And I don't think anyone that's a Ravens fan will have a problem with that. We really were subpar against the third down passing situations. Then we'll move over to the Ravens offense, and we'll show some clips of Rashad Bateman and Devin Duvernay, and talk about the run game issues that the Ravens had early in the year, and then how that's kind of gone away. And the final piece, if I am able to get to it, will be talking about Myles Garrett. And one of my points that I will make a couple of times will be that if Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney don't get home, meaning if they don't get to the quarterback, this Browns defense appears to be one that gives up big plays in the pass game when they're not there. I'm not sure who else is getting to the quarterback when those two guys aren't. So having said that, we're going to kick this off talking about Nick Chubb and the Browns run game. I have some information as I'm presenting that I'll talk about, but I'm going to try to kind of let the plays go a little bit, and I'll just point out where the 6th offensive lineman is on each play and how I think they're really threatening the defense in a different manner from what other teams are doing. All right, so this first play, you have what I call jumbo 12. So you have an eligible offensive lineman. This mic. If you guys still have good sound, please let me know. You have an eligible offensive lineman, and they've used this all year. I mean, I think I have like 36 clips of this. I'm not going to show them all, obviously, and some are successful, some are not. Some you'll get the end zone angle, some you will not. The idea behind this is for us to see, you to see a collection of plays in a row. There's the eligible offensive lineman. Now, I understand that this guy, Teller, who's a pretty good football player, is not going to be playing. So could that impact the Browns' ability to put a 6th offensive lineman on the field? I guess maybe it could. If you're reaching down to your backup right guard now, whoever that is for them, I don't pretend to know. does that have an impact on you putting now your presumably seventh best offensive lineman on the field more? So another example of Jumbo 12, what I mean is there's a tight end here, and Njoku is a talented dude, and then now this guy is considered eligible. He reports eligible before the play. I'm not sure when we watch the broadcast on TV that they're going to show us that, meaning are they going to show us or tell us that he's reporting as eligible? Because the Browns do it a whole lot. Ocho Millie, what's up, man? Easy Stew, Ocho, what's up, guys? Thank you guys for commenting. I'm going to try to track the chat as much as possible, but I'm going to be honest with you. I intentionally made the settings such that only subscribers to the channel could comment. So if that's not cool or something, let me know. It's my first time utilizing that. I was messaged by another YouTube content creator who said that's what he does and he would recommend I do that, or he thought it might be an option. I'm not sure why Atlanta's D end is not stepping down here. Like, I get it. You're worried about the running back, bouncing outside. I understand that. But you have DBs that can fit on the outside. This is a weird play by this D end on this side, number 9. He just kind of stands there. He does get involved in the tackle, but, he doesn't close down when you get this mass of bodies in here. He doesn't close down. Maybe he understood maybe they had a stunt where that 54 was going to try to snake around. If he does, now they've created an extra gap, and Kareem Hunt is athletic enough to jump through it. Hopefully you guys are getting good video quality. If you're not, please let me know. All right, another example of the a sixth offensive lineman on the field. Guys, they use it a lot. And I think that for the Browns with their injury situation, this could be something they look at doing, 10, 12, 14 times a game, especially if it's successful. If it's successful, I think that it could be something they'll do more. Obviously, the Ravens got to have a good plan for it. When they bring this guy on the field, it's not all run. You'll see some play action passes here, as I kind of alluded to earlier. Just for purposes of comparison, like when we talk about the Ravens running backs in pass pro, E-Crown, what's up, man? Stu Money, thank you. Appreciate that. And you've listened to my channel long enough to know, like, J.K. Dobbins, Justice Hill, Gus Edwards, all them dudes. I love them. I hope they're all healthy, and we got them all. Kenyon Drake as well, Mike Davis. But, like, we don't do this. This ain't what we do. We dive at, a D lineman or a D tackle's legs, but we don't make contact with them. That's the reason why Rick Hard is in the game. Am I saying I agree with it? No, I'm just telling you that's the reason why. Because our running backs don't get pieces of people like that. I'm talking about this dude that just got put on the ground by Kareem Hunt. So when you get to watch as much film as I do because of what I'm trying to do this year, you'll see little comparisons like that. That's one of the reasons why we have Ricard on the field so much. All right, you can see all 11 guys in the camera view here, I believe. Maybe you can't see Njoku off to the left. This is Jumbo 13, really. I have it mislabeled as Jumbo 12. So this is 68. He's eligible. That's a tight end who plays a little bit of fullback. And then I don't know if you guys can see it because of the frame. I don't think you can. It's a little off screen for you. That's Njoku is out there as another tight end. So they have 2 tight ends, a 6th offensive lineman, and Amari Cooper. They've got to figure out ways to get the ball to other people, and this is one of them. Like this little reverse. Am I saying that it was successful? No. I don't know, Josh. I'm not sure if it's something I want to continue to do. I figured I would try it. If we get less engagement, then that's fine. But the least someone could do if they're going to watch, this is about 3.5 hours work for me to produce this, is subscribe to my channel. So, that's the way it was explained to me, and I thought, you know what, I never thought of that. All right. Anyway, since they've taken a playmaker off the field, all right, they got a 6 offensive lineman here. Some of their plays are going to have to be irregular, if you ask me. Reverses, and they're a good screen team. At least in the last 2 or 3 years, they've been a good screen team. Now, I'm not sure this year, to be honest with you. If they're a huge screen team. One of the few situations here, and kind of he got kind of like labeled as someone who wasn't always healthy, and et cetera, et cetera. I may be misremembering players. This stance always intrigues me. I've talked about it a couple of times in other videos before this year. I feel like it's a real easy stance for my linebackers to read. But look, if we play like this, it don't matter what we read. I don't mean to be disrespectful towards players, but like that's an open window. Go. We always teach our linebackers, like the offense is trying to build something. They're trying to build a house. They're trying to build something. We want to steal what they're building. And how do you steal something? You go through open windows. You don't break into a window and make a whole lot of noise. get a whole lot of attention. You go through open windows. If somebody leaves a window open, go. And this window is open. Now, is this guy going to be able to tackle Nick Chubb? I don't know. I just know he's not putting himself in position to do it. And by sitting back and having no awareness, I mean, he's just totally unblocked. When you face a running back, the quality of that guy, you got to kind of tell your linebackers, hey, I'm okay if you're coming downhill a little bit too much and we get beat a little bit by in the backfield, kind of interrupt Nick Chubb's flow. I feel like that's how we have to play. Gotcha. So he was injured in college too. They're going to threaten with the boot. This is that same play. It's 22 personnel, so Hunt and Chubb is on the field at the same time, all right? So they're going to threaten us with, it's not like they're always going to have 6 offensive linemen on the field. They're going to threaten us with the boot, and good for them. Like they're putting Jacoby Brissett in situations to be able to succeed. And they're trying to win the game using their best asset, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. I like Amari Cooper. When we get to some of the film of him, you'll see what I mean. I really like the guy. So 6 offensive linemen again. Ramal, what's up, man? Livin, what's up? Good morning. Josh, good morning. He fell to the second. Wow. All right, now I do like what the Chargers do here against this 6 offensive linemen. They got these guys lined up in inside techniques like a 4-eye, maybe like a 2-eye. You can call it a 1 if you want. And they stunt them outside. It's a known rundown. And they stun them outside. Pressure, penetration in the backfield by D-tackle. To me, that's a Matabike move. Calais Campbell too. All our D-tackles is athletic, man. All of them. All right, another eligible lineman. We're going to move past this in a minute. I think we've belabored the point here. I'm trying to be real intentional with this video. Look, guys, Chubb is going to break tackles. Like, we know that. We face him, twice a year at this point. He's going to break tackles. We've got to win. To me, we've got to put Justin Matabike at the point of attack. We've got to put Justin Matabike where we think they're running the ball. These things do not happen to Justin Matabike. I agree with you, Easy, that like if you give that's a great selection, a great trade, for the Browns. A 5th rounder, I mean, unbelievable. Kind of reminds me of the Devontae Parker thing, except I know Parker, hasn't made the number of plays for the number of years that that Cooper has. So a great example of this. It's going to be a 40-yard touchdown run. We'll show this one, maybe one more. Extra lineman down here with 2 tight ends on the same side. But here's the thing, a couple of things. I mentioned this last week talking about the Giants. They run to the boundary a lot. They run to the boundary a lot because, it doesn't matter where he goes. He's going to make plays. He's going to break tackles. And the blocking scheme is good. Additionally, they love this where they pull the backside guard, but it's not – I got it labeled as power, but it's not power. He's like looping around this surface and leading the way for Chubb. And Chubb's steps, like me personally, I'd be reading him because I feel like in an instant I know the play from him. I understand everybody's all about reading guards, but Chubb tells me to play because he stands up high and he gives me all the intel I want as an inside linebacker. Ramal, what's up, man? Appreciate you joining. ACL in college. Yeah, this is a sick run. I mean, look, you can see him breaking off these runs against us. He's a talented guy. If we get outflanked to the boundary, if we don't have enough guys, I could see it happening. But, man, the Chargers look like they got enough guys there to me. They got a linebacker who presses and isn't able to make the tackle. And they got a safety who's sitting and waiting, trying to sift out where it's going to be. He misses the tackle. Another guy misses the tackle. 3 missed tackles. I mean, wow. We have to play fundamental defense. Yeah, I'm excited about our run defense. When I show you the clips of us against the Giants, I don't know how it could be interpreted as anything other than be exciting about. I got 1 minute before I got to move on to the Ravens run defense, but I thought I wanted to cover Nick Chubb, and the 6 O-linemen. There's going to be some missing elements here for real. I'm kind of picking and choosing certain elements to focus on in these live streams. This is going to be the last one, I guess. This motion here for me is one that is a huge tell for me. It's either a run to Chubb. This guy should be treated like Ricard. Ricard's not getting the ball when he's a fullback, all right? It's either a run to Chubb or Hunt, whoever's back there, or it's a play-action pass. In this case, it's like this deep in cut by Cooper, and it's essentially clear-out route in the middle of the field by Njoku. Njoku is just trying to clear out this space for Cooper to run onto. Additionally, this here, that's the 6 offensive linemen. So there's a little bit of method to their madness, if you ask me. By having that 6 offensive linemen on the field, it gives you another guy who practices pass pro to help out. Now, don't ask me what this right tackle is doing. I have never actually I've seen this. This happened to us last year in the Rams game, I think, or maybe the Packers game. Remember the whole right side of the line didn't move? Look at that right tackle. I have no idea what kind of snap count he is on, but he is not on the same snap count as everybody else. Big pass to Amari Cooper on the deep end cut. Going to help us transition to some Amari Cooper stuff here in a minute, but I want to show you some film of the Ravens' run defense. I know, like I said, I know that I'm moving kind of fast here. It's kind of intentional. Maybe an hour and 15 minutes isn't enough time to really get to everything I want to cover. Maybe I need to split this up into 2 previews. I don't know. So we're going to look at end zone angle footage of the Ravens' run defense against Barkley. I don't know what you guys thought, man. I mean, Saquon Barkley is elite. He's a great player. We just did a fantastic job up front, which is what makes the loss so disappointing because of our inability to cover on 3rd and long. The guys up front do not deserve blame for this. They were balling. Patrick Queen among them. I thought Patrick Queen was willing to kind of sacrifice himself and just run into people, which he had not been willing to do before. Sometimes when you pick a side, Saquon Barkley cuts it back. Sometimes you just have to do what's called knock it back. Sometimes you just have to try to knock that guy backwards into the running back. I thought he really played well in this game, to be honest with you. I don't know what you guys thought. We're going to kind of let some of these plays run. Again, I was really impressed with our rush defense. A lot of things that we did to hold Saquon Barkley down. Do they translate to playing against Nick Chubb? What's a little different style offense? A little bit. I was extremely pleased with how we tackled Saquon Barkley. His longest run was 8 yards. There's a little bit of crossover in some of these concepts. And again, like this dude right here is playing incredibly well. Watch. I'm going to let this run back 2 or 3 times. I love watching Justin Madden. I love watching D linemen play in general. Like using their hands. Look how physical he is with his hands, getting that guy off of him and then making the play on the backside, on the backside. He's really forced Saquon Barkley to go into the front side. By the way, A.J. Klein was on the field a little bit more than I thought, for real. He was on the field. I would say I have seen him on the field at inside backer 4 times, maybe 5, something like that. Not necessarily making plays, but he's on the field more than I thought, which is interesting. We don't like to wrap up. We have to this game. Yeah, we absolutely have to tackle well. Absolutely. Everything we did against the Giants worked. I'm going to go on record as saying something, and I might be way wrong on this. First of all, I like the Giants. I like their team. I like how they play. I like their heart. I like their, everything they do. They didn't fold up when they got behind. We did. As soon as we had, adversity in that 4th quarter, we folded, period. I don't know. There's no other way to describe it for me. We folded up. They didn't. They were behind the whole game. They stayed with it. So credit to them. Having said that, I think they're going 1-2 in their next 3 games. I could be way wrong. So we'll see how that works out. I think the Ravens showed a really good blueprint on how to slow down their run game and force Daniel Jones into situations where he's got to make plays. And he made them against us because our slot coverage is really poor, and that's got to change. A couple of more clips of our run defense. Again, I'm just kind of letting these run through. We're doing a backdoor technique here. So this is a zone to this side, and we're playing on the backdoor with Urban and Jones. Now sometimes you do that unintentionally. Sometimes you get pinned like this, and then they pull, and then the safety's got to come up and make a tackle. You can see how we've been pinned. So we're on the back door, and then somebody's got to fit through the front door. And it ends up being Hamilton. He actually had 2 or 3 pretty good plays in this game, if you ask me. Well, we gashed his defense, so I think they're going 1-2 in the next 3 weeks. We'll see. I think they're losing to the Jags Sunday. I just don't think they go in there and bully the Jags defense, but I could be wrong. It's a great job of Harrison fitting. Watch out, he's fitting the front side, so he's playing it back inside, and then Bynes is just reading the pulling guard, or pulling center, because they're fold blocking it, fitting on the inside. Great job by Harrison and by Bynes. Yes, Stu, absolutely. Matabike and Jones was awesome last week. All right, one more play of us. If we can replicate this, multiple guys. This is Washington, I believe, right? If we can replicate this, where multiple guys are making plays, we can beat this Browns team. Especially if we were able to move the ball on them the way we did on the Giants, which was a little unexpected to me. I didn't expect us to bully them like we did. We really bullied them. All right, going to move toward some other elements to the game. Amari Cooper, another underrated guy, if you ask me. I've got 12 plays loaded up. You can tell I'm not breaking down each play. Hopefully that doesn't reduce the quality of what you guys expect out of these streams or out of my videos. I'm just trying to get as much. And look, just so you know, in order for me to use these, I had to go and watch as many Baldy's breakdowns videos on the NFL YouTube channel to make sure I could use these plays, so it didn't get copyright hit. So it's a lot of work to put this together in a structured fashion and pick the plays that I can use that aren't going to get me copyright hit. Easy, yeah, I have a little bit of that at the end. Yeah, if I don't get to that, because that's during the Easy E said, please tell me you're going to show the Browns run defense. Yeah, I have some of that. I've actually seen them play it well in some cases, but obviously they're not playing it well consistently. The Patriots really took it to them in Cleveland, right? That game was in Cleveland. So I have a little bit of that at the end. Easy. All right, so let's look at some Amari Cooper stuff. I think he's the big play guy, but look, that's a little bit of a being too simplistic, because they've got Njoku, they got Donovan Peoples-Jones, and he's made plays against us before. Cooper's up top. They love to play action stuff, putting us in conflict. Us meaning the defense. Now, this is not to Cooper, but you're getting this concept here, which I would just call, a little flood concept off the play action. I know there's a lot of lines on the screen. Forgive me. I love it. They're putting the quarterback in position to succeed. And I hate when we oversimplify things about quarterbacks. Like, oh, you have to make the game easy for him. They made the game. You know who did this 30 times a game? Peyton Manning with the Colts. I mean, what was wrong with that? They didn't do that because he was limited. They did it because it worked. You know what I mean? Like, it's putting a guy in position to succeed. That's what you're supposed to do as a coach. It's creating 3 levels of receivers available to the quarterback. And then if nobody's on the boot, he's got the option to keep it and go outside. We've been talking about this with Lamar for years. We're not going to get a ton of it. We get some, 2-3 times a game. Maybe, where we get this boot, but not enough. And so that's the challenge they're going to put our defensive ends in, our outside linebackers in. Our guys that are, lined up here or lined up here are going to have a choice to make because of the run threat to Chubb. We can't just run to quarterback and get the sack, because then maybe we open up this little cutback and we've opened up another lane there. So it's a huge challenge with this play action concept off of it. Right, got you, Josh. I agree. Cooper in like this stacked twins look, faking the toss play again. Look at the 3 levels. You've got a deeper route. Now he's only like 4 yards behind, and then you've got a shorter route. Essentially, we're talking flood off the boot. I love it. I mean, this is putting the quarterback in a position to succeed. You have a receiver run out into the flats, nobody on the quarterback. I think the Falcons do some good things as a team overall. Of course, they won last week, right? Kind of a surprising game, but they've got some issues on defense. I don't know who's running their defense, to be honest with you. All right, I think you've got an eligible. This is 2 tight ends here. Yeah, this is 12 personnel. This one scares me. This formation scares me because it's a balanced formation. It's 2 by 2. I hope they don't line up in this, because now they can run the ball to either side, or they can run the boot to either side. We kind of can't hedge our bets. This one kind of scares me a little bit, especially if we're going to be in a 1 high safety look. Amari Cooper strong. I think he's an underrated dude. This catch you're going to see here in a minute. I don't know if you watched the preview that I did of him, man. Like, this catch that he makes against the Jets is unbelievable. Falcons are playing one of the coverages that's becoming one of our favorites, the Tampa 2. Amari Cooper's not targeted. As you can see, he's a smart guy looking for the open spot in the defense. You got this little underneath route that Brissett takes. He's a smart guy. He recognizes coverage is quick. I think he sees the safety sitting up high, so he decides not to, don't attack a walled castle. Check it up, kind of into that open space, make himself available, even though he didn't stop. Do I think he's going to have a great game against us? I'm not sure. By the way, here's another example of teams doing this bad version of dropping their outside linebacker. That's the same thing we do with Oweh. When we get to our coverages in a minute, you'll see it. So this will be Oweh down here. They bring in this inside linebacker, which is the same number 3 who didn't press the gap on that Chubb touchdown run earlier. Got a little bit of stuttering there. Hopefully it's not too bad for you guys. So this is the end dropping. This is someone playing curl flat. This is cover 3. All right, this is cover 3. And you got no dropper on the hash. One of these two guys messed this up. And, it kind of doesn't surprise me. When you're dropping an outside linebacker DN type who doesn't practice those things that often, it opens up the possibility for coverage mistakes. It's not a completion to Cooper, but this is, a Ravens-Browns preview. Brissett is good enough if you vacate zones, if you leave underneath zones wide open, he's good enough to find them. I agree, Josh. Third down stuff, they do tend to target him. When they move him in the slot, I'm really scared. Concerned is the better word. Moving him in the slot, getting him against Pepe Williams is not in our favor. I expect them to do that on third down. I'm sure that they have seen on film some of the same things other people have. Here he is, kind of this stacked twins look up to the right side, and this is one of the releases that beats us into the boundary because it's away from our nickel defender, and they kind of get the under route, the linebacker going with the under route or drag, and then he's just putting his outside foot in the ground and moving onto that vacated space as soon as the inside linebacker moves out of there. When they move Cooper around, it's going to concern me a little bit because I feel like they're moving him around to create a matchup. Not that they don't think Njoku and Peoples-Jones are good players, because they are. They are very good players. But I feel like when they're moving Cooper around, they're moving him for a reason. All right, this one's incredible. If you didn't watch the preview I did, let me get rid of this. Hold on. Let me run this full speed a couple of times so you can see it. We'll slow it down here in a moment so you can see what he did. Just a deep comeback, deep comeback out to the sideline against Ahmad Gardner, who, if you didn't watch my best rookie corner video, I think Ahmad Gardner is the best overall, but Tariq Woolen's made the most plays, so I ended up voting for him. Watch what Amari Cooper does. He's like doing some Matrix stuff right now. Like he's dodging bullets, puts his right hand in the ground, turns back to the sideline, makes the catch. I don't know. Maybe that's not as impressive a thing as I think it is. I just think it showed a guy was a rookie in 2015, still retains a lot of athleticism. Do I think he's going to have a great game against us? I don't know. I don't foresee him just lining up over Marcus Peters, just lining up over Marlon Humphrey and beating them consistently. If he's going to do something, I think it's going to be in the slot. Easy E, totally agree. Gardner is one of the best in the league. Yeah, like the video if you want to. I'm not begging for it. All right, so a little outside release against, I'm not sure who this guy is. I don't like to, talk bad about NFL players, but so I'm going to do this as a progression. I think you got Gardner up here, their best. I think you got Hall down here, their second. Then I think this is Michael Carter, the second. I would say he's their third best coverage guy. So whoever this is, he's just not of the caliber of Gardner, Hall, and Michael Carter, the second. All right, so pretty similar to what we did against the Jets. Duvernay got loose on that first touchdown against their third corner, well, their fourth corner, I guess. To me, this is what it's going to look like if we put Pepe on him in the slot and expect Pepe to play a man. We've got to give Pepe a leverage side. Brandon Stevens, I'm not sure about. Brandon Stevens may not be as quick and as athletic as Amari Cooper, but I feel like he might hold up a little better than Pepe does. I really like Pepe. Reed, okay, thank you, Easy. I like Pepe a lot, but I'm just not sure he's ready for real. All right, you're going to get this little slant, and then an out by the running back or a shoot route, flat route, whatever. And it's the second time I've seen Amari Gardner and a safety to the boundary mess this up. If you remember, they did this against the Bengals and Jamar Chase. Same route combination. So this is the second time I've seen this year where a team is running this combination and both Gardner and the other safety or linebacker are going with the guy in the flats, and the slant is wide open. There's got to be a reason that this has happened twice. I'm sure teams will come back to it. Who knows? Maybe we see the Jets again. You know, they're 4-2 right now, right? Got you, Josh. Understood. Another situation where he's in the slot, just easy. You can't play him like this. You can't play him this far off and not have some kind of inside leverage help. You know, the Steelers are playing this weird coverage, and they actually play it kind of well. The running back goes out in the flats, and I think this linebacker covers him. And then the tight end runs this little corner route, and watch Robert Spillane cover this up. This is interesting to me. Interesting coverage because the Steelers are intent on bringing 5 here, but it just makes things too easy. And this is what the Giants did. The Giants vacated the middle of the field all game long. And when we attacked it, we took advantage. I mean, I just never understood what we did for years in our defense. We never had a low hole dropper, and teams could just run slot slants or, you know, in-breaking whip routes, shine it in, whatever, all day long because it was wide open. It's just too easy. All right, one more play, then let's look at some Ravens coverage stuff. Yeah, I like Pepe a lot. Like he's a great talent. I'm glad we have him. But I just don't think he's ready to be playing against these kind of guys in the slot. And to me, when they put him in the slot against us, it's going to be to attack our nickel defenders. All right, let's move on to our coverages. Give me 1 second. I got to get a screen up. I know this is probably moving a little faster than normal. Trying to cover as many elements as possible. And if this doesn't work, then I'll adjust it next week. Again, I'm not trying to have this be comprehensive, like cover every element of the game. I'm picking and choosing certain elements. We covered Nick Chubb in the run game and our run defense, which I thought was pretty impressive last week. And you know, are we going to win that matchup? Are we going to win it the way we did against Saquon Barkley? I mean, his longest run was 8 yards. Our run defense was amazing, I thought. It was our third and long pass defense that I'm getting ready to show you that failed us once again. All right. I guess, J-Mill, I don't know. You know, me personally, like if you really want my answer, I would not trade for a wide receiver. I would trade for a slot corner. Now, if I could get both, that'd be amazing. I mean, that would be awesome. You know, I would love to have both. Me personally, in order for this team to win, I think we need another slot corner more than we need another receiver. That's just when we had Bateman. I don't think the issue is as stark. You know, is as obvious. So hopefully that answered your question. I really like Pepe. I think he's got a great future. I like his passion. I like how he plays. He's made plays for us. But to me, in these third down situations, as I show you, they're targeting us in the slot. To me, that's what it seems like. This is actually a Tampa 2. Absolutely, the Fuller injury is huge. I love what we're doing with Kyle Hamilton on these guys. I really, really do. Kyle Hamilton is playing in between the hashes in this Tampa 2. And these two is playing our, you know, cover 2. I think that's Clark and Stone. That might actually, no, that's Pepe. Now, this actually might be what Pepe is a little better suited to do, is play a little bit of safety, be less responsible for man coverage. Danny, June on, good morning. I like what we're doing with Hamilton, you know, for real, in these situations. I like how we're doing this and having him front up. And if this guy goes vertical, he runs with him. If this guy sits up in the middle of the field, we cover that up. In any case, Marlon is playing a cover 2, and Queen kind of is, you know, toward the hash just a little bit, maybe a yard and a half, 2 yards. Marlon's on the outside leverage, and it's a good route by Slayton for 18 yards on 3rd and 14. 3rd and 12. This is the third drive, by the way. I hate this coverage. I just all right, so everybody wants to get stuck on Kyle Hamilton. Like, okay, that's fine. Get stuck on Kyle Hamilton. But the coverage is creating space. And I just don't understand why. It's a zone blitz, all right? A zone blitz is going to end up with 3 deep and 3 under. So you're going to have somebody who is hot 2, somebody who is low hole, middle of the field, and somebody who is hot 2 over here. So that's what it looks like post snap. That's not a perfect drawing, okay? In order to do that, that's 6. You're covering with 6. So here's your, 3 guys deep. Here's your hot 2. Here's your middle of the field. Here's your hot 2. Yes, Kyle Hamilton gets beat. There's too much space under here for us to. It's 3rd and 12, man. I mean, they're in field goal range. Okay, you're trying to get a sack to put them out of field goal range. All right, is it working? Like, is this coverage working for us? I don't think so. I just don't think it's working. Like, is it a sound coverage? Yes. Is it a absolutely easy, difficult route? And Wan'Dale Robinson is reading it. As Wan'Dale Robinson's getting to about let's draw the route. As he's getting to about here, somewhere around here, he's reading Kyle Hamilton's leverage. See it? He's reading Kyle Hamilton's leverage. He's also selling that he's running the out, but he's reading Kyle Hamilton's leverage, and he knows, all right, I'm going to go ahead and break this back in. It's a great route. Wan'Dale Robinson's talented, but this coverage is not working, in my opinion. I may be wrong on that, okay? So whatever. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's fine. Oway dropping into the flats. Us blitzing, I think, Pepe Williams. I don't think these things are working for us. I just don't think they're working. If they worked, then I'd be like, hey, man, this is wonderful. Jones, what's up, man? How you doing? Thank you for joining. If they were working, then fine with me. I just don't think they are. It doesn't work on this play. It's just a little shoot route. There's a lot to say about this. I'm going to try to not get bogged down on it. It's a failure in leverage. It's a failure in using the guys to do what they're meant to do. If you don't know, this is Justin Madubuike, and I'm sure you can tell by how tall that human being right there is. That's Calais Campbell. Those guys are dropping out. We're trying to occupy people with Calais and Madubuike. We're trying to occupy. This just looks like sticks blitz 0. All we're trying to do is make it look like that, okay? We're trying to occupy people so that the edge rusher or the blitz off the edge, which is, I think, Chuck Clark, can get there. Well, it gets there, but it doesn't matter. It's 3rd and goal from the 4. They have the option to throw the ball out quick and score a touchdown. I just don't. It just seems as if we don't have spatial understanding. I don't get this, guys. This is the Tennessee Titans in the playoffs in 2019. This is Stephon Diggs touchdown or similar to it. In the playoff game in 2020, somewhat similar to it. Remember the regular season game in 2019 against the Bills? I hope Josh Hoffman's still in here because I'm talking bad about Wink. This is 2019 regular season game. Remember when we almost blew the lead up there in Buffalo? We almost blew the lead. This is Cole Beasley's touchdown against Jimmy Smith. Cole Beasley couldn't beat Jimmy Smith now, man-to-man. But he could when he's the slot receiver and you got someone running a pick, screen, or rub, and he's just running out into the flats. By the way, this is Pepe's man. When you get to end zone angle, you'll see Pepe is lined up inside of number 2. Look at number 2's feet. Pepe is looking right at. That's his man. It's a pick, screen, rub, whatever you want to call it. Fine with me. It's great design because it's occupying the corner with the outside receiver, and then the inside receiver. This is too easy. June on. I agree. This is bunch. Grandmaster, I'm becoming less pleased with each passing game. I just don't understand this. So whoever it was that said Marlon should switch, I mean, yes, you can do that. You absolutely can do that. But so look at Pepe's alignment here. Can you guys see this? It's off screen a little bit for you. You guys got Pepe's left foot there, though, I believe. You've got Pepe's left foot, right? You can kind of maybe see, right around in here is the number 2 receiver. Pepe's lined up inside of him, all right? So you don't line up inside of the point man. You're just giving up leverage. The only reason you do that is if you're responsible for for the number 3 guy, man, which he is. Because watch his reaction to it. Pepe's running out into the flats. We're not defending bunch. We never defend bunch well. I don't understand us zone dropping these dudes out on 3rd and 4, and we're out leveraged. Out leveraged means Out-leveraged means it's very easy for 13 to pin Pepe inside because Pepe's lined up to his inside already. Now, those arrows are drastically, not inaccurate in terms of where Pepe's lined up. Pepe's feet is here, and you can't see his other foot. But this receiver has him out-leveraged, meaning that receiver is closer to the sideline. So by definition, he can pin Pepe. Pepe should be lined up outside of number 2 or stacked on him to not allow himself to be pinned so easily. But he has to line up there because we're blitzing the safety, Chuck Clark, and Pepe's going to have to chase that route by the number 3 receiver, Wan'Dale Robinson. If Wan'Dale Robinson runs here, Pepe's going to be running with him. All right, that's my contention. I just don't like the coverage. Liv and I agree that it's tough to defend. It's impossible to defend with this coverage. That's my point. With us blitzing the safety off the edge, it's impossible to defend. There's just not enough people there. We're expecting Justin Madubuike to play. I'll pause it here in a minute. So the point man, let's say he ran an angled hook. We're expecting Madubuike to stay on the inside leverage of that. Come on, man. He's a rush guy. He's a rush guy. Like, why are we trying to be tricky? This shit's not working. It's not working. This is what Wink did. This is the same stuff. I'm not mad at y'all. I'm mad that we continue to do this. All right, 3rd and 4, second drive of the third quarter. All right, you're going to notice something. I should pause it, but y'all's chat is a little delayed. Well, shoot, I just gave it away. I'm not mad at Oweh, man. I'm not mad at Oweh. He shouldn't be put in this position. The ball is on the hash. The field is over here. All right, so that means the wide side of the field is over there. Why is Madubuike dropping to the field again? And we out-leveraged. Yes, the tight end ran from the other side of the field. Yes, Oweh's athletic enough to do it. He's not good at it. He's just not good at it. I mean, Jimmy, there's cons. I mean, like they could do a snag concept, you know what I mean? And the snag route, the angled hook could be open. That's absolutely true, So, I mean, you could, what's the term? I mean, you could just, any term. We would say brown or we would say eagle. But different people have different names, Our terminology, the words was usually, the number of letters was usually telling our kids how many people were dropping in coverage. So, like, to trips, eagle was 5 because it's got 5 letters. So that was telling our kids we're dropping 5 over trips. Red was telling them we was dropping 3. I just don't think we're putting guys in position to succeed. I just don't. This is Tampa 2 is what this is, guys. All right? Again, I like what we're doing with Hamilton. I love it. I love that Hamilton is a better athlete than Josh Bynes and A.J. Klein. He's more disciplined and smooth than Patrick Queen. So on this Tampa 2, he's the guy running the middle. We call it the middle third, even though that math doesn't work, right? 2 and 2 and 3, that doesn't, or half and a third. But to me, this should not be Odafe Oweh. I just don't see what we're getting out of this. I don't. You guys tell me if you think we're getting something from it. It doesn't seem like we are to me. 3rd and 5. So even though the Browns, they have guys out, the right guard is missing. They're going to be in that jumbo personnel with a 6 offensive lineman a lot. I still have reason for concern. I do. Even when we play this is a conservative coverage. It's a 3rd and 4, right? And we play this zoned off coverage. Fine. And we want to make them complete it underneath, and they do. And Patrick Queen makes the tackle. We end up getting a penalty on Oweh. Whatever happened prior to this, I don't know, but it certainly is bad that it's a 4th and 1, and now we have his helmet in our hand. Things could have been said. Something could have been done on previous plays, but this just can't happen. It's just bad. It's bad. He maybe he's frustrated. Look, maybe he's frustrated for dropping out into the flats all the time. I'm frustrated watching it. Are you guys frustrated? I mean, if you're not frustrated by it, I'm not going to argue with it. I just feel like it's misuse of our personnel. All right, 3rd and goal from the 5. So this is the second possession of the third quarter. They end up getting a field goal because Calais Campbell gets a sack. This is a great job by Marlon and Kyle Hamilton. Now, Hamilton falls down. A guy runs into him. But it's a great job of them communicating by the motion. Let me remove this. Hold on one second. Let me remove these notes. All right, we'll run this a couple of times. You got this return motion, all right? So they're trying to mess with our coverage by doing that return motion. Look at Kyle and Marlon communicate to each other. Now, Kyle ends up taking a guy that he shouldn't. All right, he ends up taking the tight end. The tight end is running this little underneath, and this guy's going over the top. All right, but there is actually a good point about this. I think I'm going to try to make it. Hopefully, I can. So Kyle ends up falling down because Marcus Peters and this receiver run into him. All right, that's not the point here that really matters. The point that really matters is we're playing a 3-level defense here. We actually have 3 levels. All right, we have a rush. We have a second level, and then you have a safety here. I think it's Chuck Clark, guys. So Hamilton falls down. He should take this guy. That happens sometimes. That happens. Somebody runs into him, right? This guy runs into his feet, and I think they run into his feet, causes him to fall down. This safety, Clark takes it over. It's pressure on Daniel Jones already. My point is, when you put people in positions that they are naturally and technique-wise meant to do, they're able to cover up mistakes. A 3-level defense is sound, meaning your first level is your rushers, your second level is your nickel, strong safety, your inside linebackers, and then your third level is your safeties who've been playing those positions for a long time. We've got a guy on this man. We play a man here. We're playing man here. We've got Marcus Peters playing man on that guy there. And then this safety who is not assigned to that guy man at all is able to cover it up because we have a 3-level defense. I just don't – the stuff we're doing, that zone blitz stuff, I think it's putting our guys in bad position, and I just can't understand why we keep doing it. Misuse of our personnel. It's the same thing Wink did. A 3rd and 4 later on, and this is – I think we up 20-10 here. This is not meant to, talk bad about Pepe. I mean, it's not. It's a tough cover, all right? But the point is, he is the guy being beat on these situations. Like, let's just be factual. He's the player being targeted. He's the player being beat on this mesh concept. You got 2 guys running the underneath stuff, okay, the mesh, and then he's running kind of this overneath. So they've just cleared out this side of the field. Do they know that Pepe's going to be guarding that guy? Well, I mean, no. We could have Brandon Stevens in, but the point is the way it results, the way it works out. He's the guy being targeted. I mean, that's the spot. If it's me, whatever level of understanding I have about the game, if it's me, he's the guy that I would want to target. Let me put it that way. I agree, Josh. Owe, Ojabo is speed rushers, attack instead of all this stuff. I don't know. I feel like the zone stuff doesn't work. The zone blitz stuff, So zone dropping D tackles again, and Wandale Robinson is going to beat Pepe. Like, I really don't even like presenting this. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. This makes me uncomfortable presenting this because this is a rookie. He's a young dude. He's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of passion. I think he's got a lot of ability. I just think that right now he's the guy teams are saying, we're going to go at him. And it's working. And, oh, by the way, just so you know, we're zone dropping Justin Matabike and Calais Campbell again. It's frustrating for me to watch. If you're a Browns fan watching, like, this is probably giving you hope because I know that there's a lot of Browns fans that are pretty down on their team. So I had a note to myself about running it back. I've already talked about the zone droppers. Not trying to be overly negative in these live streams. I'm just trying to present plays, present patterns that I see. And again, it's probably missing elements here, things that I'm not covering. I feel like this point I've really belabored. This is 2nd and 7. Touchdown to Bellinger. But personally, the way we teach it, Josh Bynes should stay with this crosser. That's the way we teach it. The first crosser on a play action is yours. He's passing it off to someone. He's passing it off to Chuck Clark, or he's passing it off to someone else over here, whatever, and he's picking up the second crosser. That's not the way we would play it. We, on play action, meaning cross flow, the running back going this way, and then the over route coming back here, we don't pass up crossers. Josh Bynes is my favorite player. Y'all know that. I think he's better than you think he is, all right? But we don't pass up crossers. If it's a play action concept, we just take that crosser. I've seen him play it way different than that. Ends up being a touchdown to Bellinger. Really, really difficult situation. I guess the one thing I will say, I agree, Josh. I agree. Hey, Jay Mill, that's a good point. Is that Marvin Lewis seemed to be a guy, even Rex, who did crazy stuff too. He seemed to be a guy that was just going to let the front four get after you, let the second level guys do what they do, and the safeties do what they do. It just seems unusual to me. Here's one thing that's encouraging. Then I got to move on. All right, is against the Bengals, we took away something. Right, we took away their deep pass threat. We shut that down. How did we do it though? We did it by alignment. What I mean is we put people in the locations of the field that they attacked and threatened with their big playability. If you play man free or you play cover 3 against the Bengals, Joe Burrow is going to throw the back shoulder fade or he's going to throw it up the sideline all game long. And he's just going to throw it to the best matchup, whether it's T. Higgins, whether that's Jamar Chase, whether it's Boyd, whoever it is. That's what he's going to do. So we played Tampa 2, and we took that away by alignment. And that's my point here. Our alignment is not working right now because we're zone dropping D tackles who are lined up on the line of scrimmage, and we're blitzing slot guys who are lined up 3 yards outside, 4 yards outside the tackle. And in my opinion, it's not working. Like if it was working, then I'd be all for it. And that, well, J Mill kind of, hit the hammer or hit the nail on the head for me. When Rex did it, it seemed to work. And it worked to some extent for Wink. It did, but here I don't feel like it's working. So got to move on. Let's go Duvernay and Bateman. Let's give you guys some good news if you're a Ravens fan, which I hope you are. First of all, thank you guys for doing the stream. I want to make sure that I say to you guys, I love doing this and I appreciate doing this for Ravens fans. I hope you enjoy it. If you do enjoy it, you feel free to let me know in here. If you don't, feel free to let me know on Twitter or whatever, about what you'd like to see me do different. You can put it in a comment if you wish. All right, Duvernay and Bateman. I don't know if Bateman's going to play this week. They could sit him for Thursday. That kind of makes sense. If they play him Sunday, they may sit him Thursday. That makes sense to me. But I feel like he's got to play if he's healthy. And I know that some of you guys are going to disagree with that. My thought is this, and you'll see it in a minute if I get to it. When the Browns pass rush doesn't get to Yolanda, good morning. Thank you for joining the stream. Always appreciate you guys' positive input. I did make this subscriber only for comments. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Let me know. If like in my Discord that we have, it's only Ravens fans. And actually there's like 4 people in there that are fans of other teams, but they're all positive. And I feel like people are really able to express their true thoughts, in the Discord because they know that it's not going to be some fan of another team coming in with some crazy stuff. So I made the comments subscriber only for this video. And, let me know what you think. My thoughts on Bateman playing. I think he should play if he's healthy. Because we may win the game by halftime. We don't know that. I don't know if that's true, all right? I'm not saying I think it will happen. But if we do, then we just don't play him in the third and fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need this guy. This guy changes our offense, and we need to get him the ball. Like, I think I did a video Friday night. It was titled like something about Nick Boyle. But it was really about how the Ravens are getting open other tight ends by using Mark Andrews' gravity. We got to do – this is a design play. This is against the Jets, all right? Ravens roster, good morning. Well, it's a blessing and a curse, Ravens roster, to be able to notice patterns and be able to see things before the snap in terms of formation and plays like that. Don't jinx it. No lead is safe. No, but what I mean is, June, there could be a point in the game where Rashad Bateman only plays 2 quarters or he only play, he's rotated. This is a design play to go up top to him. We need to do this. This has been absent since he's been out, in my opinion. We did have that 1 4th-and-1 play, where Lamar and Tylan Wallace were unable to hook up the right sideline. In my opinion, we got to do more of this. We got to do more of it. Get the ball downfield to him or the slants that I just showed you. I agree we need him versus Tampa Bay. He's way better than he gets credit for. I'm kind of glad. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of glad that we have had some struggles with some of our guys. I am, because it keeps the narrative nationally right where they want it. I'm cool with that. Keep the narrative right where they want it to be. You watch this one play right here. If I saw this play, if we were going to play this Ravens team and we saw this play, we would say, "Oh snap! I don't know how we cover this dude. He's catching a comeback at 13 yards." And first of all, Lamar's throwing it, all right, from the 17. And we're catching it on the 40. So was that a 23-yard throw for Lamar? And then Bateman just jukes this guy. And this burst, like he ends up on the 39. Is that as impressive to y'all as it is to me? The fact that this is an NFL starting corner who doesn't use the sideline, gets juked. Who said, "What's up, man? Good morning." Deuce, I think they do have good corners. I mean, is that what you're saying, Deuce? I think you're legitimately saying they do have good corners, because I agree. I'm glad for the adversity for C-Bus Mike. What's going on, man? I'm glad for the adversity for Rashad Bateman. I am. I hope it makes him pissed off. Anger is a gift. At least it has been for me. So I'm glad. Duvernay don't seem like one of them dudes that gets mad. Duvernay just seems like a guy that shows up, goes to work, and he's just awesome. Duvernay and Bateman, man, I really like them. You know, I'm not into the whole receiver conversation as far as, you know, what the Ravens should have done, whatever. I want us to have the most athletically gifted team possible. So if we can go out there and get another receiver who's talented, I'm fine with that. I don't want to take a single snap away from them two dudes, not one. I just don't. Like, I believe in them. I think they can play. I love when we put Bateman in the slot. He's a really good receiver. He's really talented. He's not so talented that we shouldn't put him in the slot. If you were here earlier, you saw video of Amari Cooper. They put him in the slot often, didn't they? Right? Like, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with think about LeBron. I use basketball comparisons all the time. Maybe they don't work. Maybe I don't like them. So let me know. I'll probably still keep on using them though, for real. LeBron, when they come down, whether he's 38 years old, 28 years old, 23, whatever, when they come down, the first thing they would do is run pick and roll early in the shot clock. Why? To get a switch. Like, to switch the defender and get a matchup that LeBron can exploit. That's the same thing with putting Bateman in the slot. It's the same thing. Putting him in the slot, letting him get a matchup advantage. That's what this is. The only thing is the Jets have done this for us. I forget this corner's name. We talked about him before the game. Some of us in the Discord and Patreon identified that he was a guy we might try to target. They got Ahmad Gardner on Likely. They got Michael Carter II on Andrews. They got DJ Reed over here on Bateman. And we've just going after their fourth best cover guy, and we got him beat. I would love Duvernay on screens, Josh. No question. So you can see how they're matching up. They got Gardner on Andrews. They got Michael Carter II on Likely, but we switch it. Okay, we switch it in terms of routes, so they switch it in terms of coverage. Hey, imagine that. You can actually do that. You guys see what they do? We should have talked about this earlier. Now, granted, the ball's not on the 4. Okay. Oh yeah, Charles, absolutely. Who's somebody's? Oh, the explosiveness, the speed, the cutability is totally different than Crabtree. But catching, maybe whoever said that, maybe their comparison point was just catching the ball. Watch how they switch it. Look, the inside receiver went out, and Gardner took him. Now, it's a little different route concept, but it is possible to switch. Deuce, who do you mean? The Ravens? Absolutely. Our running backs can't pass pro, period. When I say our running backs are bad in pass pro, I mean real bad. Okay, got you, Josh. Yeah, got you. Yeah, Dobbins, Hill. Mike Davis is good in pass pro, but he's, not a guy that's going to threaten you with the run, not nearly like those other guys. I don't know about you, man, but I feel like, and I did a couple of videos this week, hopefully it didn't rub people the wrong way. I just feel like we're too reliant on Andrews reading the coverage and adjusting. I just want to see us. I want to see us use these other guys early. I mean, clearly we have a fumble here. That's not what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on the fact that young man is able to find open space, and Lamar moving to his left is able to throw the ball, get it out to him. We got to protect the football. Exactly. That's why Ricard's on the field so much, because he's actually part of the protection scheme for Lamar. We're just not that good in pass pro. We messed up slide protection against the Giants one time. I need to do a video on protection so people understand certain things when they see the protection schemes. I kind of like Justice Hill back there, though in 11 personnel or 12 personnel, because of the threat with his speed, for real. Like, Duvernay is just so classy. Duvernay seems like a guy that if you dropped him in 1985, he would fit in. You know what I mean? Bateman knows how to stay open. That's a great point, Danny. I'm running out of time here, and I really needed to get to 2 more playlists. The Myles Garrett and the Browns defense video is probably going to be delayed until tonight just because of time. I'm really kind of constrained here where I'm streaming from. Probably have about 15 more minutes. I don't like I don't like this as much as I used to. So Andrews is over here. He's running this kind of classic over concept. I just don't like us running nothing but clear out routes that we never target, and it's only designed to get Andrews open. In my opinion, I'd like to switch it. I'm going to be honest with you. I'd like to see Andrews run the clear out route, and then Bateman or somebody here. We did this against the Bengals last year. And I would like to see it for another reason. And nobody's really talked about this. I even hesitate to kind of mention it. I want to see if he's willing to do it, because I've seen 2 evidence on routes lately where I felt like it was his job to get somebody open, and he didn't do it. So I want to see you do what I hate to keep referencing them. The Patriots Super Bowl teams had unselfish guys, but it wasn't just their unselfish 5th and 6th round draft picks. It was their stars. And their stars Randy Moss went there and just fit in. I want to see you run a clear out route, Mark, and I want to see you open the area of the field for Bateman, because Bateman needs touches and we can use him. What I'm saying is kind of reverse it sometimes. Everybody knows when Andrews is on the right, he's going to run this route. I would challenge him. I mean, you can believe that or not. As a coach, that's just who I am. That's how I was raised to be. Personally, I would put Andrews right where the tendency says he's going to run this route, and instead I'd have him run the clear out route and then run Bateman on this. That's just, I know I'm digressing some. Yeah, just use Andrews to take the top off. I think I just drew the ire of the YouTube copyright police. It just told me you're using copyright content. Makes sense, though, because this is that great catch by Duvernay. Let's just need to sign them before their 4th year finishes. Especially if Duve blows up and scores like 8, 10, 12 touchdowns this year. Like, just sign him now. This is kind of an example of what I'm talking about. We're just talking about, I didn't know this was coming up. This is that same route, except Duvernay's the one running it. I really did not know this was coming up, guys. For real. It just kind of happened that way. Duve does it all, man. I agree. All right, let's move to one more playlist. Hey, look, Duvernay getting the football, Bateman getting the football, to me it's just got to happen. It's got to happen for our team. It's got to happen for them. It's got to happen for Lamar. We got to take some of the onus off Lamar. Now, having said that, the next playlist, it's a little frustrating. The next playlist, I think Lamar Jackson's a winner. I have said that for 2-3 years since I started this channel. Give Lamar partial ownership. That's funny. Having said that he's a winner, I have proof of it, because he continues to run this QB power. Like, if you've heard these people talk on social media or whatever, Lamar's not running because of this. That's BS. He ran the ball 7 times by design against the Giants. I'm going to show you 6 of them, okay? So he's not changing the way he's playing. That's soft mentality by people commenting on Lamar. Lamar's not soft. He's a winner. If the play calls for him to keep it or give it, and he reads it as a keep, he's going to keep it. And, I'll prove it to you. Just 6 days ago, he's running the ball against the Giants, 7 carries, 77 yards. And it's my contention that if we did this one more time, we win the game. If we did this down there on the 5, or we did this down there on the 16, we win the game. Now, this first play isn't an example of that because we're not reading it. But you've seen Sip Tally did awesome. I agree, Jones, get Prochet involved. Sip Tally did an awesome presentation on this on Twitter. Yeah, all kinds of graphics on it. Looked really cool. I don't know how to link to Twitter stuff on my YouTube, but in any case, if we're reading this, we're reading Jahad Ward. Jahad Ward runs down the line. If we're reading it, we give it. It's first down. It's a big play. At the least, we've got a field goal. In my opinion, I think we got 12, 16, 18 yards, something like that, because they're locked up in man, and this inside linebacker is chasing Kenyon Drake to the sideline. But in any case, the rest of these where Lamar actually is reading it, this is killer, man. This is stealing. It doesn't matter what Kayvon Thibodeau does. On this one, he runs upfield to the running back. And one you're going to see in a moment, he sits. It's just the way that it threatens teams, especially to the boundary, so away from the nickel defender. Here's the nickel defender. And again, we're using Andrews away from the play. We're attacking. I would be interested to do a study. On plays to Andrews' side and plays away from Andrews' side and see if there's certain concepts that we're only running away from him. Because here he is again. I think this is Andrews. That might be Oliver, but I think it's Andrews. And guess where we're running the ball? To our right, into the boundary. Now we give it to Dobbins, right? Why are we not running the ball more? I agree, Max. We should have ran the ball more against the Giants. This is a give. This is a give because Kayvon Thibodeau steps down here. So we give it to Dobbins. This might be where he hurt his knee. Who knows? And he cuts it up, and Kayvon Thibodeau slings him down. Good play, still a 4-yard gain. This one right here, like if we run this one more time on Sunday, we win the game, and we're all less pissed off this week. Again, look, there's Andrews. Where are we running this play? Into the boundary. To our right, away from Andrews. This is just good spacing in terms of your star talent. Again, think about basketball. You don't often want one star setting a screen for another one. You kind of want your third or fourth best player setting your screen for LeBron or Steph Curry, and your other star to be used as a complementary element to that play. Andrews down here to the left. This is a horrible alignment for them for this play call. QB power read is murdering this stick split zero stuff. We should run it more often. Am I saying I want Lamar to run the ball, a ton? Well, if that's what it takes to win. I don't care what we do. And you know what? He don't either. This is, again, the reason I'm showing this is because people are like, oh, Lamar's not giving Lamar is not keeping the football because, he's worried about his contract. No, he's not. When he's on the field, he's worried about winning the game. He is a far more focused person than most of us that sit and comment on him all the time. Like the best thing we could probably do in terms of Lamar Jackson is just all of us just shut up and let him go win. I love this play. Man, QB power read, QB counter read. It's just X factor. Yeah, you're right, Danny. It's just X factor. It's 11 on 11 football. And now when you separate the free safety like the Giants did, just numerically, they're at a disadvantage. They're just at an extreme disadvantage, if you ask me. 1, 2, 3, 4 guys outside of the box. So they've got 7 here, all right? How many do we have outside of that box? 1, 2, 3. Ricard is still connected to the box, so it's 8 on 7 in our favor. And that 8th guy is Lamar frickin' Jackson. Like, yes, I think we should run this play concept down in the goal line. Like, the man can do it. The man makes big plays off of it. I don't have time to go through the Myles Garrett stuff. Hopefully, this is feeding you guys a little bit of you guys' desire for Ravens film. Just had another one pop up, said YouTube found copyright material. The Myles Garrett stuff, look, if Myles Garrett doesn't get to Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney don't get to the quarterback, I don't know how this Brown team stops the pass game. They give up big plays. They give up big plays against the pass when those guys don't get there. Let me run this one more play. This one here is the one that kills me. This one here, okay, Wink had not shown this a whole lot. This shows me that they were reaching, meaning the Giants. They understood that they're getting the ball jammed down their throat and they can't stop it. So they're like, okay, we're gonna go to this because we've tried everything else and it hasn't worked. Boom, 11 yards. We run this on the next play, we score. and we're 4-2. I don't know why we're not recognizing that. All right, we'll fire this up until I run out of time. Myles Garrett, a huge asset for them. Great player. So physical and imposing. Plays with such a high motor. Going to show you some film of him dominating early in the season. May get interrupted here, so if the stream ends suddenly, that's why. I'm going to insert an ad because I haven't done that enough. My live streams don't generate a whole lot of income compared to other videos. Like, he's just elite. Myles Garrett is everywhere. You can't leave him unblocked. Like, you just can't. I just don't see the point in leaving him unblocked. That's Garrett. Clowney is generally on their left. Sometimes they switch them. Another sack. Beating Iquanu, the rookie, badly. And almost wrecking the quarterback. I mean, do we have an answer for this? Yeah, we got Ronnie Stanley. Well, Ronnie Stanley, to me, is the guy that kind of balances out that equation against Myles Garrett. But he makes plays. And he's got a lot of sacks, forced fumbles. He's a guy who occasionally needs to come off the field because he gets tired. Because I know he had that issue with the COVID season. But he's everywhere. The only problem to me is I don't see a lot of other guys who are generating pass rush. Clowney's going to have a forced fumble strip sack in here. Point being here, they have chipped him, and then now Iquanu is in front of him. Iquanu is in direct line, and Garrett has no forward momentum. Everything has been disrupted for him. Can't get there. Big play, touchdown, Robbie Anderson. When they don't get there, this team seems to give up big plays. And us with Duve and Bateman, in my opinion, we got to threaten them. Yeah, I would never leave Myles Garrett unblocked. Now, excuse me, on a run play where we're going to kick him, yes, I would. And we're going to. We're going to run right at him. We're going to run right at him, I think. He's not on the field on this play, don't get me wrong. This is an unbelievable catch by Devontae Parker. The video got kind of grainy there. My apologies, but I'm impressed by what the Patriots have done. I think they're 3-3, right? I didn't think their defense was that impressive. We went up there and beat them, but they figured out a way how to go into Cleveland and hold that monster down to 15 points. Problem is Garrett's going to make plays. You're not going to be able to hold him down all game. Sometimes they put him on the other side. They could do this against us, try to get him away from Stanley. That's going to be an unbelievable matchup. Stanley versus Garrett. Stanley's playing at a really high level. I don't know if you guys agree or not. I'm not sure June on. I have no idea. No idea. Another thing that I like to see us do against them, run the ball. Run the ball against this team. Not always successful, but force Garrett and whoever else is playing on the other edge to have some indecision. But you see, he just doesn't give up on the play. When he's on the field and he's fresh, he's elite. I don't know where you rank him in terms of edge players. He's right up there, 2, 3, top 2, top 3, top 4, something like that for me. Sometimes he's in stand-up position. The only thing I think about this team is it does look like their run defense is not great. I'm not sure about some of the stuff they do. Walking both inside linebackers up here, who both look kind of small to me, putting themselves in a bad position because now they've stunted 28 out, and the running back runs right through that gap. I'm not sure they're going to do this against us. I'm just not sure. I think they're going to have their second-level players lined up in a typical linebacker position like this, and just play defense. I'm just not sure they're going to be trying to do special things against us. Garrett's on the backside. This is one of the plays where, it looks like maybe he's been on the field a lot because he looks a little less explosive on the backside. Still getting involved, but doesn't look like it's 120%, right here. But I'd certainly love to have him on our team. Easy E. Clowney is out. I saw where he was not perfectly healthy, but I didn't know he was out. Wow, that's a huge loss for them. Now, this is one example of a run play that these guys do a great job on. Watch 28. I'm not the biggest fan of him, to be honest with you. I'm not enamored with him like so many other people are. Real good football player, don't get me wrong, but this is nasty. Him and Garrett getting involved, that is awesome inside linebacker play. That's teaching tape. Because right now he's got, is the linebacker going to press this front side gap, which is where, you'd want to fit, if so? Is the linebacker going to cut it back through this other gap, which is what he does? 28 fits it perfectly. I could watch plays like this all day. Depending on what you really enjoy about the game, receiver play, quarterback play, linebacker play. Me personally, I enjoy watching stuff like that. That's just how I connect to the game the most intensely. And the thing about the game that I think I understand the best. I'm not a huge fan of his, but I recognize there's a lot of talent there, and he's a good player. And certainly there are problems with the run defense. Doesn't just fall on him. It's across the board. Give D-Jax a couple weeks. Yeah, I mean, no doubt he'll be able to have an impact, I think. He'll stretch the field on those clear out routes. Some of these plays where Garrett and them are not getting pressure, man, it just looks like a totally different defense. Oh, I agree, Jones. He played well against us last year. Our line stunk last year. I mean, I'd say we had a bottom 5, 6, 8 in the league offensive line. I just don't know why you leave Myles Garrett unblocked. How you leave Myles Garrett unblocked. That just doesn't make any sense to me. That can't happen, period. Even when you do block him. And so the guys that have an impact. If Clowney is out, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Stu. I have no idea. I'm not going to commit to one way or the other before I've seen the dude play. I would love to see him come in and stretch the field a little bit for us and us target him downfield some. I think that's probably why they signed him, as a guy who can just stretch the field a little bit. That would be my guess. I'm not sure how many of these we can hit on them, but if they don't get to the quarterback, there seems to be something going on with their coverage. I don't know what it is, who they don't have, or how they're playing things differently, but they seem to have given up a lot more big plays than I remember from last year. Yeah, I'm not worried about Deshaun Jackson. I'm quite sure he knows what he's getting into. This is that game that the Browns blew, so they very easily could have another win. I'm not saying I think it's going to be an easy game, but this is definitely a game that we can win. This is definitely a game that we should win, given the considerable talent we have on our roster. Hopefully you guys appreciate the preview. If you do, once I post the video up here in a minute, consider just commenting on the video, because that kind of helps videos get pushed out, to different audiences. I appreciate you guys checking out the video. Let me know what your predictions are in the comments once I post it up. I've run out of time here. I'll try to do one of these every week. The only issue is that Thursday night game against the Bucs. So I'm going to try to get one out on Thursday morning. It's going to be difficult for me to do. I've got multiple commitments Monday and Thursday of this week. But I'll try to get one out for Thursday morning against the Bucs, which is going to be a really weird situation, having just played in Baltimore on Sunday and then traveling down to Florida again. Really reminiscent of that Vikings-Dolphins turnaround last year. Hopefully this time we can get 2 wins out of it. Appreciate you guys checking the video out. Let me know what you think of the video in the comment section.